Association Conference. How's that been
The
so far?
Annual General Conference 2022 has been awesome. The organization is perfect, I would say, and it's meeting up to expectation. I had to take out a little time to make it here in order not to bash today's appointment, but it's been awesome. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
We have a lot to learn today. I mean, today we're talking about something very interesting. In as much as we all say, "Oh, God forbid, this can never happen to me," but we want to talk about divorce. Divorce and everything you need to know on separation and divorce. And so Clementina is going to guide us, educate us, and let us know everything important legally that we ought to know. So we're going to kick it off with the definition of divorce. Clementina, according to the law, what is divorce?
In clear terms, divorce is a legal dissolution of a marriage properly contracted by a court or a competent body. That definition insinuates that not only the court can dissolve a marriage, but other competent bodies. So that is that for divorce.
Do you want to give an example of those other competent bodies that can dissolve a marriage legally?
Community head,
okay,
family members, in circumstances when the marriage is customary.
Okay.
You see, so when in customary marriages, we know that bride price is paid and other procedures are followed. In some circumstances, in short, a large number of such divorces are not done in the court system. They are simply done by summoning family meetings, with representative of the community, and bride price being returned, and that is it.
All right, so let's talk about separation and how that is different from divorce, because sometimes people use those terms interchangeably, separation and divorce, and we know that there are actual differences. So what is separation and what is the difference between separation and divorce?
And for the purpose of that question, thank you, let's focus on statutory marriage.
All right.
So now, divorce is a situation wherein the court pronounces that the marriage between A and B is finished. That is the end. It is the last and highest order as far as the union is concerned. But a separation is not the last order of a court. It is just a process wherein they say, yes, while your marriage legally is binding and subsisting, you can have some time out. Just be apart and see if you can resolve, if at all, your differences, very reconcilable differences, to maybe you want to resume the matrimonial over again. So separation is also an order of court, wherein the arrangement is made in such a way that parties go their separate ways. They are still obligated in some ways for separation. So the party or the spouse who is taking financial responsibility still does that. Right? But in the separation procedure, parties also split properties if properties are in question. They still talk about custody in separation, because you have to clear out, what this should do, where this should go, and all that. So, but the very distinguishing factor between a divorce and separation is simply that you cannot remarry, even if you are living apart and the children custody are given to you, or you are being responsible financially for the children or the other party. You cannot contract a subsequent valid marriage except you come back to the court to say that, see, this separation didn't help us, we just want to
go separate ways.
Yes, then the court will not pronounce on that, then you can divorce.
And most questions asked during divorce are, there are a lot, but there's one popular one that comes up all the time. Can my husband and I use the same lawyer if we have to get separated or get divorced? Is it possible to share a lawyer? Because most of the time, people just have a family lawyer, and then when it's time to just go separate ways, everyone is struggling to have that particular lawyer. Everybody wants to be with a family lawyer. So can they share the same lawyer, or they have to have individual lawyers?
Thank you for the question, Kiki. Now, generally in law practice, particularly in Nigeria, people cannot use a singular lawyer for matters that are likely to be contentious, because it's going to impede on the professional, ethics on the legal practitioner or that lawyer. Conflict of interest is something we guard against. In issues of divorce, there is clearly issues of rights or wrong, what was not done properly wrong, and we are going to form our perception as legal practitioners in that circumstance. So you cannot put yourself in a situation wherein there's a likelihood of someone seeing you as being biased or favoring one party or the other. So In such circumstance, no, you must get your separate lawyer. The only exception to using a singular lawyer is a property transaction. When you know that what is the interest there, you pay money, you give the money to that person, they give you title, you walk your way, and that is that.
All right, so before we go on a quick break, we have so many more questions to ask. I want to ask you, when we think about divorce in the American or Western world, we see that a lot of the time property is a major issue, right? And half of the man's property, let's say the man makes more money, half of his property goes to the woman, right? In a situation, we've seen artists like Mary J. Blige and all that divorced her husband, and she now has to pay him certain amounts of money, and in fact, half of our property had to go to him. So is that the same in Nigeria, or what makes our own system here different when it comes to a situation of divorce? Because some people, especially women, we've seen a lot of the time that women are, when it comes to divorce, women in this part of the world, suffer the most when it comes to, custody of children and getting the finances and all of that. So what's the difference, and how can that situation be solved, so to say?
Thank you so much. Now, even our divorce system or statutory marriage is largely informed by our customs, what we are used to, customary law. And a number of marriages in Nigeria, a large percentage of them are just based on customary law. And the customary law doesn't really give provision or makes provision for aftermath of a marital breakdown. It's all about you're married, stay together, against all odds. So there is no provision for if it doesn't work. So it's just like trial by error. And being the customary society is such that the man is very dominant and endearing, and as such, things are going to be done in their favor. But now, coming back to statutory marriage, which is now a thing we are trying to, import from the Western world, there are provisions that protect women. Then, but the process of enforceability or the practicality of them becomes another issue, not just the lack of the law itself. But now, so we have the Matrimonial Causes Act and the Matrimonial Causes Rules that makes provision for certain circumstances in such relationship. So yes, payment of alimony. So
by alimony, you want to explain what that means so
yes,
people understand?
An alimony is a situation wherein the providing spouse or partner, being it a man or a woman, in the time of the marriage, is still obligated legally to take care of the other spouse after the divorce, or even during the separation period, if that is the case, until they remarry or something like that. Yes, got a job, or the person remarries on the same level that they were when they were still married. So yes, it's not, you can't live like a president, and when your wife is leaving or you want to send your wife away, then she lives like a pauper when alimony orders are made. So you have to maintain her in that circumstance. Yes, it happens in Nigeria now because the law are now there for maintenance of the other spouse. They call it maintenance, but the alternative word is alimony. Alimony.
I mean, so much has been said already, but we need to, take a break, take a breather. It's like in the classroom break time. We'll be back for more on legal matters. 88.5 UFM. This is